Hi, I'm Father Joel, and welcome to a special Holy Day edition of Pilgrim Priest. I'm grateful to all of our mission partners and supporters, especially the 231 people that are signed up to be part of Oriens, a pilgrimage through Advent and Christmas. Learn more at pilgrimpriest.us/book. Thank you for listening. God bless.
When I was a newly ordained priest, I thought that I would end up trying to argue with people about teachings like the Immaculate Conception of Mary, or the Assumption of Mary, or the Incarnation of Jesus, some of these big teachings of the Catholic Church that use big fancy words and are kind of hard to understand. But as time has gone on and I've served as a priest more, I've realized that perhaps the teaching of the Catholic Church that is most controversial is this one, that every child is a gift from God. Every child is a gift from God. Now, that's what Mother Teresa said. She said, how can people complain there's too many kids? That's like complaining there's too many flowers. Every child is a gift from God. But not every child feels like a gift from God. Sometimes after parents have had a couple kids, or they're like, I don't want any more gifts. And sometimes if you're the oldest child and your parents are like, we're having a baby, your response might be, no! I want all the toys for myself. In fact, that's one of the hardest things, is to welcome a brother or sister and say, it is good that you exist. You are a gift from God. You are special and unique and precious and beautiful and annoying as heck. And so realizing that the other people in my life are a gift from God, wow, that can be hard for us to accept sometimes. Now let's face it, not everyone, no one's perfect, right? We all have different gifts. We all have different challenges. If your brother or sister was just a little angel all the time, well, they wouldn't be so annoying, right? But we're all a gift, but we've all fallen into original sin. Our faith teaches us that we're not exactly as God intended us to be. Like we're meant to be, to do what is always good, and to know what is true, and to be beautiful. That's how God created us to be. And we don't always act beautiful. We don't always do what is good. In fact, sometimes, many times, we do things that are mean and hurtful. And that starts with original sin, but then we make poor choices, and that sin grows in the world. So when God gives us the gift of Mary, He wants to make the most perfect gift. And so He not only makes Mary good and beautiful and precious like each and every one of us, but He also makes Mary without original sin. Mary doesn't start being selfish and naughty. Mary starts being loving and good. And Mary continues throughout her life to live as a most perfect gift, loving everyone, doing what is truly good, and being the beautiful person that God created her to be. For others, it's work, but we could say that for Mary, it comes naturally. Well, why did God give us the most perfect gift in Mary? Why did God give us such a wonderful gift? Well, God had an even more perfect gift He wanted to give us. And Mary took the gift of herself, and she gave that gift back to God. Mary gave God the gift of herself. And in doing so, God was able to give Mary the gift of baby Jesus, an even more perfect gift, His own Son, the Word made flesh, who would be born into the world, and not only would be free from sin Himself, but by offering His life on the cross, would offer us sinlessness too, would enable each and every one of us to become immaculate like Mary and like Himself. Jesus wants to give us the gift of Himself. And in doing so, He enables us to become the gifts that we were meant to be, the gift that God intended us to be. He enables us to live according to God's original plan and not according to sin. And that means that God has given us, through Mary and through Jesus, the ability for us to become ever more perfect gifts. So that we can start with where we're at, and by God's grace, we can become more and more beautiful, more and more good, more and more true in the way we live our lives. We can become more like Mary. So Mary not only shows us what we were meant to be, but through her son Jesus, she gives us the ability to become what we were meant to be. Mary reminds us that each and every one of us is a gift. She reminds us that we need to act that way, that we need to treat ourselves as gifts, that we need to see the people around us as gifts. And she also reminds us that we need to give God the gift of ourself. And when we do that, God will give you something even more beautiful. And because every one of us is a unique gift, we all have something special to say to the world about God, but we also have special gifts that the world needs. And when we give the gift of ourselves to God, He's able to help us become the most perfect gift. Mary is the most perfect gift. She gives herself to God and gets an even more perfect gift, Jesus, and Jesus enables us to be more perfect gifts. So the theme for today is gift. Gift. Hello? Amen? Amen.